Well, I want to talk about the aged horses real quick. I'm here with Amy. She's looking at TikTok, having a lot of fun looking at TikTok videos. Was that not what you were doing?
Well, you're rambling on and not.
Well, why don't we talk about the race? Why don't we talk about the race? Our Brace for Landing.
Yeah.
How good was he the other day?
He was good.
Now you've trained him a lot since he was 2, 3, and now 4.
Mm-hmm.
He was very good. I can't believe how good he's getting around Northfield.
Yeah, me too. Did you want me to
It's
elaborate?
very insightful. Thank you for the wonderful. I'm so glad I included you.
Yes.
Yeah, me too. Okay.
I just wish he would
Yeah.
fill out.
Yeah, me too. I wish he would, but hopefully he's just still very. He's not skinny like he was last year, or lean, but doesn't have that big frame that we hope for. But you know what? It doesn't matter. They come in all shapes and sizes, and I'm super excited how he's going to be. I've almost made my mind up for the most part that he is going to Kentucky when they open at Oak Grove. I think he'll have a lot of fun down there.
Yeah,
with Brace for Landing. Collector.
Oh, he's allowed to get Lasix?
Yeah, there's on stake races.
What? But they have overnights there?
Oak Grove?
Like, what would he fit?
Non-winners or whatever, all the way up to the Open.
Oh.
That's where we raced Per Lucky in the Open all last year, right? And although, to be fair, he's not Per Lucky.
No.
He's $700,000 short
4.
of Per Lucky. I know, but still, he's not Per Lucky, but he is a nice horse. So Brace for Landing looks good. Collector S, I like this horse a lot. Very, very impressed with Collector, how he's been, how he's doing. Disappointed he made a break the other night, but I got the feeling like the track was hard as a rock. James was soaked. He put his nose on the gate. They said go, and he rolled off stride. And I think James partly blamed himself, but I can't really blame him. The weather looked so bad the other night. It was absolutely horrendous. So he made a break. Irish Ray, I ran over a wheel with him the other day. I was a bit of a menace the other day. I got called in for blocking the passing lane, which I didn't even know was a thing. So what had happened was I got away in the 2-hole. There's a horse first over. My horse is gapping a bit. So I'm like third, but 4 lengths behind the front 2. As we come out of the turn, I look to see somebody was behind me. I look this way, and I drift in for maybe 5 feet. And I'm in this far, maybe this far. I just duck in so the horse can't get right into the passing lane. But I'm in third. But the way that they perceive the rule, and maybe it's written that way, I never really thought of it. Because it happens all the time. You'll drift in and then get out of the guy's way and he'll get through, whatever. But what they're saying is you're not allowed to block the passing lane. So if you're retreating, if your horse is not advancing,
right,
you aren't allowed to get into the passing lane, which I understand. The rule makes sense, and I think they perceived it right. And actually, I did violate the rule, but we're talking 2 feet, 3 feet.
So did you get fined?
No, they didn't. They tossed me though. I was 4th place, 5th with Tim's horse. Anyway, I was surprised. I was very surprised, and then Irish Ray, I stepped on a wheel with him. Another bad drive, but it was they called that 50% Dave's fault and 50% my fault, which is right. Dave came out, but I shouldn't have been riding him that tight, and I was, and I stepped on a wheel.
That's weird.
Do you have something to say? Do you want to add?
No,
you want to interject something?
No, I just didn't know you did that.
Once in a while, I will actually do that. If we had trained Irish Ray down, he would have stepped on that wheel and just kept going, so there wouldn't have been a problem. So Irish Ray made a break. There was something else I could call for it. It was like every race they called me. I don't know why. Kenobi has been racing good. Very happy with Kenobi and what he's done now. He isn't a claimer. I get it. We paid more money for him, but we have to continue to race them where they belong. We're going to have horses that we buy and they go forward. We're going to have horses that we buy and they just are what they are. And we're going to have horses that we buy that aren't what we want them to be. And we have to, just as simple as this, put them in where they can win all the time. And if we could beat up on an Oakwood Cowboy or Ideal Cowboy, it's almost enough time to never buy a Cowboy again.
Ideal Cowboy.
Not Ideal Cowboy. What the hell's that horse? Oakwood Cowboy and Steel Cowboy. Sorry. I'm sure Ideal Cowboy's no good either. I have no idea. But we're going to get beat on horses like that sometimes. And, if I look even at the horses that we bought, right? All Gas, No Brakes was a nice horse for us. And somebody said, well, Wallop, I think he's worth a little more. We could sell Wallop right now for $1, and we still made money with him. So it's not really the end of the world for Wallop. But Kenobi is in, I think, for like 30. We give 55 for him. But he's made money and he's doing okay. And as long as Mark and Melissa continue to put him in where he can do good, I'm sure eventually that red pen will be put away and we'll use a black one. Unless somebody claims him right away, in which case, I guess we won't. But we still need to put them in where they belong. Spitfire Overseas, clearly, international money, by the way. Spitfire Overseas has been absolutely tremendous. His last 3, well, forever. We've always loved this horse. Steve and I talked about it the other day. He talked about Spitfire Overseas, and we bought this horse to sell because he was just such a gorgeous animal. Remember he sold at Blue Chip? I still remember them pulling him out on the floor and looking at him, and Steve and you and I looking at him.
But that was first crop international.
It was,
money.
yeah. He was so gorgeous, and
he doesn't look like the other ones though.
Like which ones?
No,
Carter was a big, strong horse.
Yeah, but he's like dark. Like they're all like a light bay.
They are, yeah. You're right. No, he is dark.
According to Crantini.
That's right. They're chestnut. Yeah, and even Crantini was a nice horse too. Definitely burned a lot of money. Bit of an arsonist. Bit of a financial arsonist.
Yeah.
But did some good also. So Spitfire Overseas has just been absolutely fantastic his last 3 and really looks like an open trotter in Southern Ohio, which is good for us. Stay Special, we always say it could always be worse. Man, she had a tough month. Broke that hobble hanger and ended up making a dirty break. Had to go back to the paddock, race out the window. So DNF. Then comes out the next week and gets jammed up. And Jonathan thought she hooked a shoe. I don't know what she did. I saw her jog the other day. She was sound as a dollar.
I thought she stepped on a wheel, but maybe
No, that was not his fault. She did not step on a wheel, but she did fall down. And she got over here, and her back right leg was filled up a bit. I think she probably just scraped it up when she fell down. But has jogged great since. Jason was shocked. He said, I went out and watched her myself. She's actually sound. Said she looks good. So we'll probably... Jason said, well, we'll train her up on Monday or Tuesday. I think we'll gallop her. That's what I did before I sent her to Kentucky last year. We galloped her. It's easier on her. She's already galloped 2 starts ago. She galloped leaving the gate.
Gallop her half fast.
Oh, good mile, like 56, 57.
Okay.
I think we will. I think I will gallop her. It's just easier on her. And I already know she can get around this track. She's raced here before, so I don't really need to tinker with her very much. Anyway, so Stay Special will, regardless, she's going to train a little bit or gallop a lot on Monday or Tuesday and then race next Saturday here at Northfield Park. And James was one that said, he said, you may as well take her out of Northfield. He said, now she's fall down and made a break leaving the gate. No one's going to give you an honest race out of her, and I can't guarantee I can drive her. So you probably should just take her. And he was 100% right. Steel Cowboy's in the sale on Monday. There'll be no reserve on this guy. I see there's 10 people watching him already, so I suspect he'll sell. It was a bad purchase. He's just one of those horses where everything said buy me. Somebody took a bigger bath than we ever did. He was a $275,000 yearling. He did win in 52, his second start for us in Kentucky. And I just did everything I could for the horse. I did right by the horse. He was acting sour. We castrated him, turned him out, gave him all the time, brought him back. He's just not what we wanted him to be. So he's racing tonight. And we'll see what happens on Monday. Tactical Mounds is training back great. Don't we talk about a nice horse? I tell Amy all the time, we talk about, maybe we should only buy these types of horses or that type of horse. I remember when we bought Tactical Mounds, I was talking to Sanina. I remember the filly walked in the ring. And I remember very specifically, we bet on her sister the year before. Her name was Seven Mounds. You remember that? Mm-hmm. And she went for $100,000. We might have even actually been the underbidder on her. And I knew that she was bought by Europeans. I think we were probably going to go, and she might have been first crop Tactical Landing too. She was. Mm-hmm. We were probably going to go to 35 or 40 on her. I remember her sister was a Chapter 7 that sold the year before, as I said, 7 mounts. And bidding stopped at 27. And you could tell that Sanina was obviously disappointed. Yeah. Right? And this was, you have to understand.
Was that the one where the sibling went to...
Yes.
But she didn't race?
No.
Or they didn't show the lines?
So you're 100% right. So what had happened was now I have bought the filly. So Sanina turns to me, she goes, thanks for buying her. And she's obviously, it seemed to me like she was a little perturbed that she only went for 27, and I would be also. And I said, where's the sister? And she said she went overseas. I said, well, there's no update because if you see in the catalog, there's an unraced Chapter 7, That's just an unraced Chapter 7. But if it says beside it, exported to Sweden, you don't, that's it. It's not a big deal. It's a one-off. You're not thinking of it. But they never updated the catalog. It never said exported to Sweden. So we ended up with Tactical Mounds. $27,000, and she's gone on to be, she made $300 last year. You know, the most any horse has ever made for us in a year, I believe. And has just been an absolutely tremendous animal, and training back so good. Just very, very impressed with this filly, this mare now. Everybody loves her, and really excited for 2024 with her. Now, you talk about good sales and bad sales, right? I could talk about Yo Mister, Locatelli. All the horses we bought that have come for it, Looks Like Money, right? And another one, Texong Soprano, right? Sure, we get beat up on a couple of horses, and we're going to get beat up on horses, but we're not always going to get beat up. And Texong Soprano certainly looks like he is worth a lot more than we paid for him. What a nice horse he's turned into be. And although not a Texong Soprano, Wallop is no joke. You know, he still made a lot of money for us last year as a 3-year-old. He's filled out nice as a 4-year-old. And we did have an offer. It ended up dissolving, but we did have an offer to purchase him for virtually what his claiming price was last week. And ultimately, I was indifferent to it. Buy him or sell him, I think he'll be effective. And maybe even if he comes forward from that 57 mile in the mud, and then Kemp moves out of that class, there's a huge opening there with 4 or 5 wins for Wallop moving forward. So I was indifferent to the sale, and I'm fine by keeping Wallop. This is 3 times now we've kept him at an opportunity to sell him. All Gas No Brakes, certainly didn't have to ask me twice to bring him back, trading him for Walter's Keepsake. I like Walter's Keepsake, but he's not nearly as good as All Gas No Brakes, and he trained great the other day. You guys saw him on the video training. We'll talk about the other horse that trained the other day in a minute. No, we'll talk about him right now. Greatest ending. We are going to race him next Friday at the Meadows. Non-winners of 4,000. He is going to race with no hobbles on at the Meadows, and that was such an impressive, effortless mile from him the other day. I'm excited to race him next Friday. Can't wait to see what he's going to do. JK Victory is coming back nicely. We'll begin training him this week. Don't really know what to think. You know, is he going to be able to train back on a half-mile track? I mean, he did race here. JK Victory raced here as a 3-year-old one time. Paced 49-4 in the Milstein.
Oh,
yeah.
He's cranky.
He is cranky. He bites at them and stuff in the stall, yeah. Looks Like Money's ready to go. Somebody said, well, is it the right time to get him ready? Because now that stake race there, he didn't fit the stake race that Locatelli's in because he made too much money.
Yeah.
Right? The New Holland. Well, the Open's not filling. So they schooled him yesterday, and I said a couple of fast miles under our guidance rather than chasing speed will probably help him more than anything. So it looks like Money schooled well yesterday, and we continue to have him ready to go. Renegade Gypsy, as I said earlier, that rare break from the gate the other day, but I expect Gypsy will be fine this week in Miami Valley. Series Dragon must be getting ready to go to Mohawk. I know Harry had been in 18, I think, with him when we were home 2 weeks ago, so he's getting close to getting ready to go right now. 3 Point Blue Chip, every time I mention I want to go and get an update from this guy. I haven't got an update for him. I know they had tested him, and he had a very high count EPM. I don't know how they tested him, but they said it was really, really high, and they were getting him ready to race again. So every week I get an update from our clients at Siloam. Hey, still no update on 3 Point Blue Chip. I apologize to Johnny and everybody else. I did not get an update yet. Unbeatable Kemp was great yesterday. Just is turned into a nice horse in that class, and it looks like he'll be able to do in the 22 here or the 25 claiming series coming up in the Poconos. Just has turned into a really nice horse to be around and a nice horse to race. Where's his family?
He's always been a nice horse to be around.
Yeah, not to race though. Remember, he was ignorant and rude as a 2-year-old, bled bad.
Yeah.
And then at 3 he was okay, but wasn't the soundest and had his issues with his knees. But now he's really turned into a consistent horse. Like when I moved him the other day, 27-3 down the backstretch in the mud, no problem. Sure, he was going to do the moonwalk a bit if there was somebody coming to him, but they just couldn't catch him. And he raced really good. Yo Mister really got beat up the other day, but Stacy was quick to message me after the race, said, don't worry about him getting beat up. He's got that very, very short memory, and he'll come out swinging next week, so that's good to hear. Locatelli, as I said, is in the sale on Monday. I suspect he'll sell. I mean, we sold White Tiger for $70, and oh my God, we need a frowny face every time this happens. We sold White Tiger for...
Could have come up with a different comparative.
Well, not really, because Locatelli's a little bit better than Tiger. When you get 70 for Tiger, it's not unreasonable to think that in this market, there's not going to be any Locatellis sell for the next 3 months. I can tell you that. So if you're out there looking for a nice horse and you haven't found yourself upon the entry to Locatelli, well, that's on you. He will be an open trotter anywhere he lands, and I suspect 80,000 would be the minimum he would go for on Monday. No Free Lunch is getting closer again. He did re-aggravate that suspensory. I think it was the left front one. He's going to be worked on this week, and they still continue to jog him very lightly at the Meadows. Tim still has him now because Dr. Carter was gone away and couldn't work on him. He and Delicious Stone DK are getting done this week in Ohio, which the timing was okay because we're bringing the little guy down. Chappie is going down to get that bone scan done also this week. So a lot going on this week medically. We have 2 treatments of the suspensories for Delicious Stone and for No Free Lunch. Both should be fine. And we have the bone scan from Chappie. Where are we at here? Oh, that was rude as it just kicked me out. How would I kick it out? Throw it right out the car is what I'm going to do. The thing timed out. It is my thumb. I've had it for a while. I know it's my thumb. Don't annoy me. Anthony 2. There we go. My apologies. 1 second. Horses of the stable. Age. There we go. So we were at Locatelli. There we go. No Free Lunch. Capistrano. Trotting. Oakwood Cowboy IR is in the pool, has been in the pool for a week. I'm eager to hear what Dominic says when they put the shoe on him and jog him. He come up lame left front after his first qualifier, and it was the weirdest thing. We had him to 2 vets, and no one can find anything. Not even a shadow. Nothing. Now, he's got a rough-looking coffin bone, they said, left front, but no fractures, no lines, no nothing. And she said, was very clear about it, this isn't something new. The roughness you see in that coffin bone's been there forever. So this isn't what's causing this acute lameness now. So they thought that maybe he had cut him a little close. Maybe the blacksmith person had cut him a little close, put his shoe back on, and maybe that was irritating him. So they took the shoes off and swam him for a week. I'm eager to see what they find this week. Stay close. He didn't get in for 2 weeks. So luckily what had happened was the last time I raced him, he was really flat. I said, just turn him out in the field for 3-4 days out at Jacobs. Well, they went to enter him back in, and he didn't get in. So I said, oh, there. Sign from God. Leave him in the field for 3 or 4 weeks and let him rest. So we'll bring Stay Close in, not this week, but next week. Kings County got roughed up his last start. A winner the start for that. Both flat lines, though. So I expect him to come back good this week.
I noticed he's 8.
Who? Kings County?
Yeah.
Yeah? What are you saying?
No,
Oh!
I was just wondering.
Don't think for a second if we weren't. I would sell him for less than what we sold Tiger for. If somebody wants somebody out there saying, "Oh, I wonder," Amy's right. I would love to buy Kings County. We're right here. Feel free to.
Who's this, 9?
Who? Delicious Stone?
Yeah, he was like 4.
No, he came from Denmark though. Like he's been racing.
He's so small.
Yeah, he's a tiny. Well, he's a wishing stone.
Oh.
Yeah, such a weird horse. He was bred in Denmark, but he's a wishing stone. Yeah, it's weird. So, yeah, he is 9. He'll be back soon. I mean, we could race him right now, but there was a minor area that he did re-aggravate, and much older injury that he had, much like No Free Lunch, but a little bit different. Very fixable. And we'll have him back at the end of the month, I believe. And Patrick the Piranha, a little flat the other day. It's not his first time going around. If he had a flat day, one thing about Patrick is he always bounces back. He's a true competitor. Somebody said, well, Anthony, I don't think he was flat. He paced 52 to come 27-4. Well, only one of us drove him.
You can't drive him next Friday.
Oh, that's right. I'm not going to be able to drive him. I always joke with Chris Limes. I said, you drive him when he's in the open, and I'll drive him when he's in the 11 and 12,000 class. Now it's come full circle. It looks like Chris is going to get to drive him when he's down in the lower class, and I'll have to watch him, but that's okay. So those are your aged horses. We get the 2-year-olds and 3-year-olds. Amy and I are going to talk about them in just a second. Be done with your videos today. It is a beautiful day here in Ohio. I will talk to you all, actually, in just a minute.